What is up, everybody? My name's Lewis, also known as MrCameraJunkie, your solo production specialist. Thanks for taking the time and stopping by and spending your most precious commodity here with me, which is your time, hanging out on the Camera Junkie live stream. Today is episode number 81. And quick disclaimer for those of you who are here, who were looking forward to the editing aspect of it, that will be next week. Three main reasons why I'm doing the stream around the RODECaster Pro today. Reason number one, I'm exhausted. Like, I did not have enough time to get the things ready the way that I wanted to have them ready for the editing aspect of it. Number two was that I was helping my father move, so that's what took up all of my extra time during the week. And three is the excitement for this device, which is absolutely incredible. And as of right now, it is doing so much, and it's already changed a lot about my setup, because one of the first things to mention is that it has already replaced my iPad. So my iPad soundboard is no longer connected. I am going to have to go and actually go ahead and wait, let me make sure that I'm actually go ahead and transfer the sounds that I want to use over into the sound pads, because that's what I have this for. But the RODECaster Pro 2, this thing is absolutely amazing, but I'm also going to ask you for your help, because you're the ones who are listening to it, and you're the ones who are going to let me know how it sounds and what it sounds like. Most likely you could still hear the music and still hear Aiden going on in the background. Let me make sure here. Okay, so this is the way that I am basically going to ask of you to help me out tonight, because there's always a delay when it comes to these the live streams and the chat itself. I'm going to change something in the settings, and I'm going to ask you if it sounds good or if it isn't, and basically you're going to let me know yes with a number 1 and no with the number 2. That way it's the easiest, and I'll be able to know the answer that I'm getting corresponding to the the question that I'm asking. So we're gonna go through it and see exactly what this sounds like and how it sounds to you. First thing that I did was I actually set up a live stream set, but there is something happening right now, and I'm still trying to figure this out, because I'm used to hearing the music coming in through my ear, but I'm not hearing anything as far as music and sound effects playing right now. So give me 1 second. I still think it's there, but I digress. Okay. If you also have any questions as far as the RODECaster Pro, or would like for me to try anything here, an idea that you might have that I might not have been able to conjure up yet, please leave a question in, and as Paul the moderator will let you know, please put a Q colon in front of that question so that I can see it in the chat, and that way I'll be able to address it accordingly. So with that being said, this thing is a powerhouse. I'm going to try to go to the overhead cam right off the bat to give you a better view of what it is that we're dealing with here. So let's see. Okay, there we go. And for those of you who don't know, I'm going to try, because of the power of Ecamm, I'm not going to try, I'm going to succeed in adding another camera there. Okay. Actually, I think there's some processing going on, but let me know right off the bat, what do you think about the sound? Does it sound good, or does it sound bad right now? Give me a 1 or a 2 in the chat just to try that out as the first question. Okay, and let's change this to, no, not the flying, but let's do a squircle. There we go. With a little bit of border. Change the opacity a little bit. Down to 70. Okay, there we go. That looks good there. And now I just need to move me out of the way here. Actually, you know what? No. Better there. And I'm going to move some of these things. Wireless keyboard. And we're gonna move this right front and center here. Okay, this way we can see what we're dealing with when it comes to the RODECaster Pro 2. There we go. All right, so everyone's saying that I sound okay. As of right now, I can hear that there's a noise gate that's actually being active. I'm going to hit my first channel, and just by selecting on it, and right here, I can take a look at the processing effects. So I'm going to go into the processing, and I'm going to look for the noise gate, and now I've just turned it off. So now that I have successfully turned off the noise gate, I will once again ask you, how does this sound? And in this case, I would ask, number one, sounds better? You know, like, yes, it sounds better than before with the noise gate. Or number two, it sounds just the same or worse. So I'll be waiting on that right now, because we can go through every step here. So let me know if turning off the noise gate the way that I have it set up right now sounds better or worse in this scenario. Currently, I do have Aiden playing his cartoons in the background because I am literally testing to see if this... Oh, it's saying may want to lower the music. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so I've lowered the music there. Okay, thank you, Paul. But I am looking at your messages here. So, and with that being said, let me say what's up to you all. I'm totally just jumped into this. As you can tell, I am a little tired today. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, but we're gonna work through this because I still want to bring value to all of you. So let's say what's up. First of all, we have Kevin Cox in the house. Okay, that wasn't what I was trying to do. Just move it. There we go. Right there. All right. So Kevin Cox is here. We have Mr. Paul, the master moderator. And Kevin is also saying, please remember to hit the like button. So if I were to just jump here, I don't have the punch button set up yet. My first... Well, let me just say my second touchpad is a power-up that I've been looking for a long time, and bonus points to anyone who will recognize the sound. And I'm gonna play it now. That's my new power-up sound, and I'm loving it. We got Randall hanging out, saying hello to everyone. Okay, Scott Rogers also saying hi to everyone in the crew. It says all these RCP streams have me doing a reevaluation of my want/need, staying strong. Hey man, I'll tell you the truth. I feel you, but if it wasn't for me being fortunate enough to get my hands on one, I'd probably be looking into, you know, like saving up for it. But this thing is awesome. G. Albert is here saying hello, folks. Hoping to learn more about the RCP. And once again, just to mention this again, if you do have a question, please put a Q colon. That way, you know, I can take a look at it. You know, just as reference, I was talking to Senor Tom Buck earlier today, and I was telling him, you know, sharing a little bit of my enthusiasm with him of this device here. And I said that these touchpads, right, like they are so responsive. They're like really fast. So like, let me, actually, I can't bring down the volume on them yet, you know, just not right now, but they're very, very responsive. So I even mentioned to him, I said, they're as responsive that you could actively use them as a drum machine. And then the next thing you know, he sends me a little message of him actually having done exactly that and put some drum sound effects onto the pads, and he just started jamming out. So it's a lot of fun to see all the possibilities that are available with this device right now. Carlos is also in the house saying this is gonna be good. The 3 reasons RCP. Those are the 3 reasons. Yeah, there was more than one, but next week, if you're still interested, next week I will be getting right back to the editing and learning the Final Cut Pro. Law is in the house as well, saying hello. Okay. Okay, so Albert says that my lips are in sync, which is also something that's very important because I did have this set up prior to, for my previous setup with the Zoom PodTrack P4. And I haven't gotten into any synchronization aspects of it. So if it's good, then I'm good. All right, so let's see. John says it looks really good on your desk, very clean and sleek. It does. It's just, even the fact that there was so many cables that I was hiding with my keyboard that I kind of wouldn't even move my keyboard, and the fact that it's just like now, this is like the only USB device that's hanging off of the front of my computer. Very happy, very, very happy. It says put the screen over your hand and mouse. Oh, like my face. That's true, but it's still a dead space there. I'm gonna leave it there, Randy, because at least this way, and this is just a pointer, this is a pet peeve of mine. Because for me to control all of this, I will be looking in this direction to my left. I always try to keep myself on the right so that it looks like we're both looking at the same exact thing. Because if I were to put myself on the right hand side over here, it literally looks like I'm looking off into the nothingness of the end of your TV, live stream, or cell phone. So those are just little things that, little nuances that I do when it comes to my setup, but it's all about aesthetics, and these are things that foreshadowing. These are things that you need to pay attention to when you do edits, because if you're making a video and you're having somebody move through a city and in the shot they're moving left to right, you kind of have to keep that congruency of that same type of shot or of the same type of like side of the street that the character could be on, because if you were to move from left to right and then right to left, it really throws off the audience. Nuances, right? Okay, so we're back here saying background music is a bit loud. Yeah, we brought that down. It says Space Invaders. No, Randall, it's not Space Invaders. It says this music is much louder than your sound pads. Okay. Nintendo Mario Brothers. Nope. It's close because it's in the Nintendo family of games. But I will play the sound pad one more time. And a tip to see if you guys get it, that's the sound that you would get at the end of every level. So when you would go to the next level, when you're gonna level up, you would hear. And another tip, original NES. All right, so now let's get back into it. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do an initial setup of a microphone. One just like, so I have 2 of these microphones that I actually made myself. So I'm going to grab the other one so that we can test it out with that. As you can see right here on top, I do have 3 XLR connections to it. I do have my pod mic as well right there, but I'm going to be connecting this one. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and try this out here. Yeah. Okay, so what I would do is I would select that one. I have it as a condenser, but I am going to put it as a dynamic. Okay, and this is basically what we're seeing as far as the setup goes. Let's see if I can make that a little bit more contrasty. I don't think that really helped. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that there. I gotta be honest now, because I haven't really changed anything. This is just FYI. I'm still running the audio through Ecamm, and Ecamm is throwing the audio back to me. And then, yeah, and then because Ecamm is throwing the audio back to me, I'm supposed to be hearing the music, and I usually do. But today, because of the new system and the new setup, I see that the music is playing, but I don't hear it at all. So we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, so right here, we're looking at the original SM57V. And let's take a quick look at Mr. Aiden making all the noise in the world. Say hi, Aiden. I think he's about to jump on the piano. Okay, no, that wasn't the shot. That was the shot. There we go. All right. So here we are. This is the microphone. I have it set up there, and as we can see, it's already responding to it. It's a dynamic, so it does not need P48, which would be the phantom power, which is what's listed right there. It's set up at 45 decibels as the gain. And now I'm going to raise it and activate it to see how it sounds. Okay, so now this is the preset settings of condenser microphone right onto right from the RODECaster Pro. So this is their generic basic settings for any standard condenser microphone. What do you think it sounds like? Because I have done absolutely nothing but just knowing on how this actually works. This has de-esser, like noise gate, and everything set up from factory. So let me know if you think that this could use something, you know, like I'm reading your messages here. Oh, and Law got it right. It's Contra. Contra, that's old school. And for those of you who are not familiar with this game, this is the original game where the up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, BA, start cheat code that is so famous as just being the most generic and most used cheat code originated from. And I, as a young kid, used to use that cheat code on that game to get extra lives to beat it. And another hacker tip for you, for those of you who ever played the game, like maybe Law did, if you were to actually be able to be fast enough and hit select start instead of just start, you would actually end up going into the 2-player mode, and you would both get the extra lives. And that was like the way that I used to help beat the game, by adding a second controller and having a friend run through the entire matrix of that game together. A lot of fun. Okay, so John says it has more bass presence. Well, I also think that has to do with the way that I'm holding the microphone, because this is literally like I would do if I was doing stand-up. So the proximity effect is even that much more. Now, here's a quick tip. I've created my own microphone, so I'm going to show you how I would add said pop filter from like the SM7B onto this microphone. Oh, I'm not on that face cam, so let's show you. Focus. Now this is just a round little piece of foam core, and I was able to just cut it out in the perfect diameter. So now that diameter ring, I'm just gonna put it on top of my microphone. Okay. Hopefully you can see that, but that was pretty much the best way that I could illustrate how easily I was able to put on this pop filter onto my microphone. So now this is the same exact settings with the extra pop filter, giving the little extra space as far as the proximity effect. But still, hopefully we're not getting a lot of handling noise, because this is a microphone that I created myself, for those of you who were with me in previous live streams. But this is what you can get straight out of the box. Now, I don't know if you're hearing Aiden as before, so let me know with a 1 if you do hear Aiden, or number 2 if you really don't hear Aiden or his cartoons in the background. So I'm gonna be quiet. Also, you know, there's music going on while I wait for your answer. Let me know if he's coming through. You know what? I just asked that question, Paul, and you just answered it, and I forgot what 1 meant. That's not good, right? So I guess 1 is that you can hear him. Yes. So 1 was that you could hear him, and 2 was that you couldn't. Okay. So there's still, you know, like I said, it's not perfect, but we can see. Here's a better question, and this is not about numbers. Let me know if you think that this sound is missing something. Would you add something as far as, like, would you add more clarity to the top end? Do you think it is too bassy, or do you think that it, like, it's missing something? Do you think I should take off some bass? Do you think I should add it? Because that's when it comes to audio that it's a little bit difficult. And I'll tell you the truth, I'm being thrown off with the simple fact that I do not hear music. So right now, to me, all I hear is Aiden and myself, which is a little strange even for me, because part of the live stream is that I do enjoy the music that I play, and I can't hear it at all. Okay, so Paul is correcting me, because yes, so that means you do hear Aiden. So yes, 1 is yes, 2 is no. Okay, here's another question for you guys. See if you guys can help me out. I'm not even sure what I was going to ask, because I can't emphasize enough how awkward it is. The silence for me. It says volume. So do you think this is missing gain? Okay, let me do this. I added 5 decibels of gain there, and that was just right off with no other processing. I think I am monitoring the channel. That's why I hear everything. I'm supposed to. But it's a learning in progress, right? And the other thing is that this is also me being my first iteration into the RODECaster Pro. because I'm learning this as we go, and I never had the original to know certain things. So if this little light down here, the little green light is on, that means that I can hear what's going in through the headphones. So let me see. What am I looking at here? That's the whole thing. Oh, because that's Bluetooth. But this is the music. So this is the chat. And I don't hear the music. Yep. But I'm going to continue with that. It says, is the music on a virtual channel? No, I put it onto to be displayed through the RODECaster Pro 2 chat. That's the way that I have it on the computer right now. And that's the other thing, like as I'm learning this, what I've noticed is that there's two selections that you get on your computer when it comes to the audio. So right now, instead of kicking the music that my computer would be making, the sounds that would be coming out of it into the speakers, I have it running directly into the RODECaster Pro 2 chat audio. So it goes into it, which is what I have here on this slider. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but that little, this one right here, that's the one USB chat audio. And I keep hitting the wrong button, and that's the one that's there. So that's literally for me to monitor it, and I don't see anything coming out of it. So maybe I am doing something wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at Ecamm and I see that you guys hear music. So at least that's good. At least you're being entertained, which is most important. But right now, let me go back to the chat. I said, okay, so I'm good on the gain. So I think that that's what it was. It was just a little bit low when it comes to the volume here. And it does look like my 1 and 2 channels are pretty much matching each other, and I'm pretty much holding them in the same distance. So being the same microphone, it seems that we're getting the same similar type of response. But now I would also ask you, if you have any questions, anything that you'd like me to try, put that in the chat so that I can get through it. Right now, I'm going to try a little bit of processing on the original microphone because it is exactly the same. So actually, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let me see where I'm at. Okay, my levels look good. Well, another thing that I'm really impressed at is the fact that this thing is as loud as it is. And as you can see, I don't even have it to unity gain, which would be here -15. And at -15, this thing is really bumping, because I think I'd be clipping hardcore if I was there. But I am really, really impressed with the sound that's coming out of this system right out of the box. So now let's go ahead and just, okay, we're gonna do that. Okay, and as you can see, in this microphone, I have the SM7B preset. And that's how I started this microphone's preset instead of the standard dynamic, because this is my imitation SM57V, right? Because it is the transformerless mic, and it's supposed to be the closest to the SM7B with it being in the flat profile. And I started with that, and then we go into advanced, which I think the biggest thing that I learned in just the short time that I've had this system is that how important the compressor is. The compressor is what's going to allow the sound to actually boom through and punch through all of the noise, even if I'm speaking gingerly, so to speak. Like if I'm a light speaker, anything like that, this will actually allow it to punch through. So let's go and show you that. That's the equalizer. Okay. So right here, I'm able to control the threshold, which was basically the only thing that I changed on this. So it was somewhere around there, which right off the bat, I think you can notice the difference as far as like the amount of volume that you can get out of the device, which is things that I'm still learning as far as audio goes. And where I would think that it was more important to remove noise with like noise gate, that actually introduced a little bit more, you know, like interference that I wanted in my audio. So what I ended up doing was lowering the actual volume on the microphone here and raising the compressor to a threshold of what I think it was like -14 or -15, exactly -15. And now I should still be able to sound good or better with I guess with removing even more of the background noise, because the microphone itself is not picking it up, because I've gone down on the, I can't even remember the name of the thing here. Guys, my mind, it is not helping me out today. Oh, the faders. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so the fader, I'm able to bring it down and still get a punch through of audio without it being, you know, like maxed out, you know, as far as the gain goes. So this thing has really impressed me as far as how much gain it has built into it and how good it's driving these microphones without the need of any other, like, you know, we're always talking about cloud lifters, any other preamps. I still have my DBX 286X, and I already did a couple of tests with this device, and I know that this sounds so much better than my audio systems prior. And I was really impressed because I had the air conditioning on, I had Aiden with the television on, and I did just a simple recording with some music. The music was coming out of this directly, which, you know what? Let's try that. We're gonna switch things up. We had the music playing, but this is one of the awesome features of the RODECaster Pro. So let's go ahead and show you. I do have my Bluetooth channel, right? So I'm gonna take my Bluetooth channel and I'm gonna raise it up so that we can hear anything that's coming through there. I'm going to take, boom, here we go. This is my old iPhone 6S Plus. So an old iPhone backup, really not using it for much, kind of like my iPad. I have already connected this to my Bluetooth, and right there I have the RODECaster Pro. I think we're gonna have to bring down the volume so you can, the volume, look, there we go. The brightness, RODECaster Pro, boom, and now we're connected. So now that we're connected, all audio, including phone calls, but at this point I'm not doing phone calls. I'm just gonna do my Epidemic Sound application, which I already am logged into. So now I'm going to click this and I'm going to actively mute the music. So now there's no music coming in through Ecamm. You're just hearing the microphone from the RODECaster Pro 2. And I'm going to hit my favorite and I'm going to hit play. And now, as you can see, we have music coming through. It's probably a bit loud. And now I'm able to control that. And that's how simple it is to now have Bluetooth on the live stream through the RODECaster Pro. This is most likely how I'm going to be setting it up in the future. The one draw from this right now is that Ecamm is only seeing it as one file. Everything that's coming out of the RODECaster Pro is being recorded into the one track. That's my microphone, even on the isolated files. So, excuse me. Anything that was being played prior was being separated from the audio here. So if I was going to be using this as far as a repurposing aspect, this wouldn't be ideal when it comes to the Ecamm side. But the cool thing about the RODECaster Pro is that it has the isolated audio built in. Hey, what's up, Tom? How are you doing, bro? Stopping in to say hi. So it has the isolated audio built in, meaning if I were to sit here and now just hit this record button, I am now recording the audio that I'm creating through the Ecamm, through the live stream. I am now recording isolated audio the same way that I would have done it through Ecamm, separating it all through here. So now touchpads, sound effects, voice changers,
all of this that is being applied now,
all of those things are now going to be recorded separately within the RODECaster Pro. So I'll be able to edit them in the same similar type manner that I was doing prior with this system. So that's one of the advantages, because now, oh, why is that on? I don't know. See, I'm still testing things out, so I don't even know what audio ducking would have been doing at that moment. Hopefully it was ducking the audio, but I think I have it low enough right now where it's not being a problem. You see, and the whole difference is that now this feed, I could actually hear the music that's coming through. So if it is an issue, I can monitor it. And I can't even tell you, just this little change here for me makes all the difference when it comes to my operations here on the live stream. And just telling you, that could be the whole, you know, like OCD aspect of me here. But the fact that I've been doing 81 live streams and I had just at least a little bit of a system, the music not coming in, literally, it made me feel like no music was going out. But cool thing about this is that this is also the latest version of my soundtrack, or my my playlist on Epidemic Sound. So as soon as I get a new song or anything like that, I'm able to switch it up right there off of my phone with no hesitation. I have complete control. I have a fader so that I can, you know, increase or decrease the volume of any particular song, sound pads, everything, and a backup recording. This thing is amazing. Tom, I was just mentioning about you doing the drum machine, you know, and how responsive these things are, because the touchpads are extremely responsive. They're like very sensitive, and I kind of want to show you. So you know what, let me go ahead and do this. How do I change the volume on this again? No, it's not to configure them. Okay, faders. Oh, maybe because I'm recording, it's not allowing me. That's what's going on right now. Maybe Tom is telling me like that in his head. He's like, dude, you can't change this stuff while it's recording. Okay. Maybe not. Okay. No. Okay, you know what? Forget it. We're going to number 4. And that's how we do. Boom. And you see, I couldn't figure it out. So there's a proof in the pudding, so to speak. I wasn't able to figure out right off the top of my head. And once again, my brain is mush right now, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out, but I think I'm gonna go through my runner show, and we're gonna call it a night. But okay, so now the sound pads is here, meaning this is the audio control for the sound pads. Boom. Which is what I was looking to do. Perfect. Okay. Now I could bring down the audio from it to show you how responsive the sound pads are. So this is the air horn. A little bit louder too. Okay. And I would like to show you that it really doesn't matter where on the touchpad you touch, it's going to respond. Like no matter if it's that little corner, that little corner, that little corner, or that little corner. Like, doesn't matter. Anywhere near it, you touch it. And the fact that it is pretty responsive. So, warning you in 3, 2, 1. That is nuts on how fast. That is like stupid fast on how fast these sound pads can go. So you can really go all out. You know, the first one that I put was Doc.
Uh-oh. I done did something stupid.
That is a classic soundbite. I got another one from today that I'm still like, I know I recorded it, and that's the cool thing. So any audio that's coming in, like that I was not able to demonstrate for you right now, but earlier today, how I have all the audio pumping in, I have literally all the audio from my computer coming into the RODECaster Pro. So anything that I'm listening to while I'm watching it, I have the ability to record the audio. So me hanging out with Doc Rock, it's as simple as just rewinding a video, hitting record for like 5 seconds, and grabbing a sound bite of something that I wanted. And it's so easy because now the next step is just take that sound bite and put it on an audio clip, and then the next thing you know, it's next level. Absolutely love this thing. I've been having so much fun, and it's like limitless possibilities from everything. As you can see, like all the colors here were all changed to my aesthetics, you know, things that I like. As you can see, blue, red, and that was just to match the colors that I'm using, you know, like the blue and the red, the yellows, that's just today's cable. Everything else, as you can see, is just, this thing really is a work of art. One of the things that surprised me is how good the headphone out sounds, and how powerful the drivers are. So I have the headphones sending out directly to my speakers instead of it being through the monitor, for the simple reason that in Zoom meetings I still want to have the ability to hear what's going on while I'm speaking in the microphone. And this system is very, very sophisticated, that if you do have your loudspeakers right out here connected to it, as soon as you put up the gain on your microphone, as soon as you raise the fader, it automatically cuts off the feed to the speakers. So the way that I have it set up, and I don't think I can show it to you right here. A little bit, yeah. Okay. Right up here, right there, there's a headphone jack that's connected to the speaker, and that's what's going right into my ear here. So all audio from computer, all audio from all different sources, I basically have it routed to those speakers so that I can hear it out loud. But if at any time I want to make it hush hush, for instance, like a Zoom meeting or something like that, I am able to just pop in my headphones and dampen all of that sound, but I'm still getting it fed into my ear without the microphone picking it up, because now I have to utilize the microphone. That's why I have it in through a headphone jack instead of the monitor out, because the monitor out will automatically cut off the sound as soon as you raise the fader on the microphone, so that you don't have what we call slapback. It's automatically making sure that you don't mess up, right? So that's another thing that we always talk about. If you're going to be doing a live stream or going to be interviewed, make sure that you're using headphones so that you don't get what we call slapback, meaning whoever's hosting sound coming out of the speaker so that you can hear it, but at the same time your microphone is picking up that sound and sending it back to the original person, causing them to hear slapback, but often referred to as echo. So this system automatically prevents you from doing that, and I sent my audio through the headphone to the speakers to bypass that aspect, because I knew that I was going to control it. But in the same aspect, the number one here, that's my audio out going to the speakers, and as you can see, it's like at 40%, and at 40% this thing is like the loudest that my speakers has ever been. And that's why I sit here in awe with everything that this thing has done, because instead of having a bunch of cables, and even for today, like this yellow cable is extra, my entire setup is down to 4 cables with this device, and that's pretty impressive, seeming that I literally had the 4 cables of IO here completely consumed just last week. So this thing is really changing up everything. And now I want to just get into who I think this device is for. And if you've seen the thumbnail, I think I put all that you need. And that's exactly how I feel. When it comes to these inputs, I'm going to go into it. You not only have microphones, but you have line input that's available, guitars, dynamic condensers, presets, so many things. And at the same time, I'm talking to Tom as well, that I only see the future of voice enhancements, microphone preamps, you know, like something that you would find in the universal audio type of field, you know, something that you can get as downloadable content. I also see, like, or better said, I foresee an entire genre of people creating their own like mixes and preamps for this system that you'll be able to download, kind of like a plugin pack for Final Cut Pro. And some of these plugin packs, I see them with guitar pedal, you know, modifiers and amplifiers, and so many things that you can do with this system. And because it's digital, the possibilities are just like endless. So they really thought this thing through, and the more time that I've spent with it, the more it keeps on impressing me. And every time that I keep telling everyone, hey, right now I'm running this audio with no noise gate, no nothing, just straight like raw audio, just the preset of the SM7B, but no other added effects, slight compressor, and that's it. And the responses that I've been getting as far as audio for like the last 3 days, whether it's Zoom, live streams, anything like that, has just been positive. So if you're someone that's been like me, that I was saving for the RODECaster Pro 1, and luckily I was able to get my hands on the Zoom pod track to, I guess, like calm down my desperation to get the RODECaster Pro, and it allowed me to save diligently. And luckily for me, this thing came out, and I'm able to get my hands on it, which is like a whole nother unbelievable thing for me. Like, I am so shocked, grateful, and amazed that I have this in front of me, that I'm able to demonstrate this to you, and that this is something that I'm going to be able to use from here on out. And it's awesome. It's amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to continue with the run of show. I'm going to ask you again if you have any questions about this, things that you're wondering, can it do this? Might it be able to do that? Please put a Q colon in it. I will be getting to it. And now I'm going to go to the next step, which is a little bit part of speaking about audio, which is today's version of Cities Gall, channels that I think you should go and watch. And let's go ahead and set this up. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen there. There we go. And today we're going to be talking about Mr. Bandrew Scott from Podcastage. Let's move this out of the way. Boom. And this is his channel. He's another like audio nerd, right? He's got an amazing channel, all based around microphones and audio devices. So if you have any inclination on what a particular microphone might sound like, this is an amazing resource, because he tests the microphones on the spot, and he puts them through comparisons to a lot of its competitors in a lot of videos. And he's got content for years. How some people say content for days, he's got content for years. So he's a resource that I've been fortunate to have come across. And sometimes when I just have an inkling of what a microphone might sound like, I can go to him and most likely find a review on it. Another person is someone who's also been on the Cities Gall, which is Mr. Tom Buck, as we all know, but also Mike Delgadio from Booth Junkie, that I had him highlighted not too long ago, also on the channel. So for those of you who are looking, oh, I'm double cameraed here. Let me check this out. Look at me. I feel like Doc Rock today. All right, let's. Oh, I can't. You're killing me here. And my screen is locked, which is a good thing, except when you're trying to make modifications. There we go. They would say lock your screens until you need to move something. And then, as soon as you move it, it tells you your screen is locked. But as you can see, this guy, he's a trip. Bandrew is awesome. If you ever heard the term "please bring pizza pronto," it's probably because you've seen one of his videos. He's a fun character, but also very knowledgeable, and he also has referenced also other creators when it comes to the audio field that I've been able to learn from just the same. But at the same time, I'm going to hold those off for maybe other episodes of Cities Gall. So if you haven't found this channel before and you're interested in anything audio, which is like today's subject, I highly recommend checking out Bandrew Scott from the channel Podcastage. He's got a lot of great information, and I find him funny. You know, if you know me, a little bit of that jovial humor, a bit of silliness goes a long way. And definitely he's one of the ones that I watch when it comes to education and having that bit of fun. So always a great channel to learn and watch. All right, and that is this week's Cities Gall. Okay, there we go. Oh, Aiden fell asleep. I gotta put him to bed now, which is just about time. I wanted to check on him. He was a bit quiet. Okay, let me see if there are any questions here. Okay, so We got Tom stopping by. Hey, Dr. Elo's here. He's saying what's up to everyone. How you doing, sir? Wepa, how are you doing? Says, I don't see the music on the RCPT. I use USB 1 as well for the music routing. Yeah, you know what? Tom, if you're still here, confirm that for me, because what happened with me, right? And I don't think I mentioned it, so good thing that it just popped right back in, is that when I was using my PodTrack P4, the main audio was the audio that I would receive from it or receive to it. On the RODECaster Pro 2, I'm getting two inputs and two outputs, one calling the RCP2 chat and the other one the RCP2 main. What I've noticed is that whenever I selected the main on Ecamm, everything was coming through. Everything. All sounds that the RODECaster was picking up or making was being picked up, even if I were to hit mute on the channels. So I stopped using that, and then I started using the chat as that feature, and now it's full control. So that's the way that I've been able to use it. So if you're looking to set up yours in the future, I would suggest to just use the RCP chat as what controls and modulates everything, because nothing to me actually recorded correctly unless I was using it in that manner. So that's something that I did want to mention, and hopefully Tom can confirm that, and yeah. Says, I started watching Tom Buck because of you, MrCameraJunkie. Oh, that's cool, man. That's awesome. And Tom's also got an amazing channel, as all of us know. What's up, Art? Art, stop by. Thank you. So happy that you were able to make it this week. I know you've been trying to catch a live for a while. Yes, if you want to help support me, you don't have to, but it's always highly appreciated. You can hit up the QR code or find my link for Buy Me a Coffee in the description below. Okay, Kevin has a question. It says, do you think we'll have similar plugins to the Apollo systems? Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Like the Apollo Twin, the Universal Audio. I think that we're going to start seeing those types of modifications as far as plugins. I think that this is designed or ready for plugins, so that third parties will have the ability to create a tube microphone, or vintage, old time microphone. Even though which one is it? The megaphone? This one sounds a bit old timey when you hear it, right? But at the same time, something more authentic to try to imitate. So imagine if you can take a generic type of microphone and make it sound, plug-in wise to a UA87 or something like that. Just hypothetical, right? Just saying. Imagine if you can get that warm sound, that all the sounds of preamps, tubes, all the things that you can do to it, but digitally, because they're able to mimic it. And the thing is that we know that that's already happening with these Apollo systems. So I just don't see why that wouldn't be something that they would look into. Just saying. I love Banjo as much as Banjo loves stickers. You know what? That's the funniest thing, and I just have to call it out. The fact that Tom loves stickers and Banjo doesn't. It's the funniest thing. It's like the stark contrast, day and night. And if you watch any of Banjo's videos, you would know that. So that's super, super funny. Says, I wish your streams were on the weekends, Mr. Tom Buck. Oh. All right. But you know what, guys? We're just past the midnight hour. I do want to thank all of you. Just know that if you have any other questions, you know, you can leave them in the chat in the video for all of you who are maybe watching the replay. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to help in the best way that I can. It is midnight. I have to put Mr. Aiden to bed. I think I'm going to be putting myself to bed too. Like I mentioned earlier this week, of helping my father move, with everything else in between. And this, I am just exhausted. Like, and even to the point where I wasn't even able to make my coffee before the live stream. So it's like, right now, I'm running on fumes. I'm straight gassing out. And that wasn't supposed to stay that way. What is going on here? What? Okay, let's close you out. There we go. Won't even worry about anything else. Everyone, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button for me. It goes a long way. It's highly, highly appreciated. I want to thank all of you, as always, for taking the time and hanging out here with me. I can't emphasize enough how much it means to me and how much I appreciate all of you taking the time. I hope that I brought value to you as much as I possibly could. Next week, we're going to be doing it all over again. But next week, I am going to be doing the live editing of last week's little clip. So I'm going to be editing that video live. I was thinking about doing the multi-channel editing, but because it's like a beginner's aspect of Final Cut Pro and, you know, editing it step by step, I'm gonna keep it to the single view and we'll move from there, because what I'm gonna be going over next week, being like the basis or the core of how I would do my edits, you know, the multi-channel or the multi-camera is not something that's really necessary, because we always start by editing audio. So next week, that's going to be the theme. We're going to be editing the video live, and I'm going to be excited for it. I can't wait to have more energy than I have today. But as always, guys, thank you for being so amazing and hanging out. Kevin, thanks for stopping by and making it this week. Next week, we're going to be doing the editing, because I know that you were interested in it. And everyone, I hope you have a great, safe, and happy week. I can't wait to do it all over again next Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to get into the edits, and maybe I'll have this a little bit even more dialed in so that we can get it to sound even better. But with that, guys, have a great night, and I will see you next time.